Polly here with Cut at Home. Today I'm going to talk about the new collection that was just released on Black Friday from Heartfelt Creations. The collection is Romantic Garden Collection. Here is the paper pack that comes with it. The colors are gorgeous. Kind of flip through the pack a little bit. As always with the Heartfelt Creations, you have a lot of frames that you can use, and then on the other side is the paper, pattern paper. Kind of flip through this a little bit. There's the paper pattern on the back. It's very pretty with greens and pinks, almost like a mauve color. I'll take you through the first side with all the frames first, and then I'll show you the pattern paper. It's a very pretty pattern. Let's make a nice scrapbook page. You can put your picture in here and add some other embellishments and a title. Nice simple page. These can be used for 6x6 albums, which is a really good idea, or card fronts. And then you get the little tags and the smaller pieces that you can use. These tags look really cute on cards with pop dots. Okay, now I'll show you the back side. Nice pattern paper. Very nice green shade. And this has bleeding hearts in it and swans. And in a minute I'll show you the coordinating stamps and the die set that goes with it. These are very pretty colors. I love how Heartfelt Creations does this muted coloring with the variation of colors in there. It's really pretty. And you get 2 of each of the pages. So altogether you get 24 double-sided 12 by 12 sheets of card. It's like a nice card stock weight. And you get 2 sheets of each design. Now I'll show you the die and the stamps. And one thing I wanted to show you that's really nice with this set is you have your bleeding hearts here, so you can stamp them, and I'm going to make a card using these. And then you have the die that exactly matches that stamp, so you can just cut this out. The same thing with the swans. You have the swan stamps and you have the swan dies. So that makes it really nice, and you can add a lot of interest and dimension to your cards. And this is also really pretty, and you can also cut out the bleeding hearts, and then you can, you could stamp them, cut them out, and then place them over this die cut. So you have this stamp set, this with the swans in the water, and the bleeding hearts. This one is called Lovebirds. And here we have Homes Where the Heart Is. Romantic Garden. And Romantic Wings. So that's just a quick overview of this product line. And now I am going to work on a card with the product line. I am using the Lovebird Hangout stamp set, and I'm also going to be using the Heartthrob for the bleeding hearts. And what I've done here is I took this frame. There are two frames because you get two pages that are the same. I cut this out and I stamped this image on it. Now you could mask it if you wanted to, because the image goes over onto the other part of the pattern. I don't want it there. What I did is I cut out the second frame and I'm going to pop dot it over the image. I'm going to color this in with my Spectrum Noir markers. And I made a coordinating cardstock base, and this is going to be adhered to the front of the card. This is going to go on here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the die cuts here. I'm going to use this die cut and put an arch on the card. I'm going to cut this out of green cardstock, and then I'm going to use this die cut. Now what I'm going to do with this die cut is I am going to stamp the image from the Heartthrob pre-cut set, but I'm not going to stamp it onto just white cardstock. I'm going to stamp it onto a coordinating mauve colored cardstock, and I'm going to use black archival ink, and then that way if I want to add some highlights with my Spectrum Noir markers I can do that. So here's how that looks. And now I'm going to cut those out. So I did have to stamp two images because I will need two for my card. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper with your stamped image, and you're going to take your die and you're just going to line it up with the image. And it lines right up, so what I always do is I use a small piece of Scotch tape on the top and on the bottom just to hold that in place so it doesn't move when I'm cutting. Just like that. And then I'm going to run it through the base shot. So it will be your base, your die, and your top plate. I'm just going to run it through the big shot. Just take it off there. And you have your individual little bleeding hearts. Now I may add a little bit of highlighting, and maybe that's something that probably you might want to do before you cut it out. It might make it easier because you won't have to work with small pieces. So I did go back and add some color into it. I want to show you how much of a big difference that makes. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that one out, and I'm going to make another one because I'm going to need 2 sets for my arches. So I'm just going to line that up again. Secure it with a little bit of tape. There's only about half of that. And run it through the big shot again. Die. And there you have your beautiful bleeding hearts, all colored and ready to adhere. And finally, for this card, I'm going to show you one other little thing you can do for added dimension. Now I've already done this one, but you can, you can use a foam mat and a quilling. This is this side's for quilling, this side is for shaping petals. And you can take your bleeding heart and turn it upside down, and you just kind of roll this along the petal, and it forms the petal and it gives it added dimension. It's really pretty cool looking. Pull that up so you can see it. And if you can see it from the side, it adds like a nice dimension, and you can stick that on with the pop dot. So I'm going to finish up my card. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please stop by the Cut at Home blog and see my finished project. Thanks. Until next time, happy scrapping.